This is Andrew Haug on andrewhaug.com, Australia's only dedicated 24/7 rock metal radio station. Well, the last few years we've been slapped with so many bands touring this country, and many of them have been coming back for the second, third and fourth time. But it's a little bit refreshing now that we actually have a band that's never been to Australia and will be here shortly. We're talking about Finnish power metal band Stratovarius. We do have bassist Lauri Porra from the band on the line to talk about the excitement that is happening within the band's camp, coming to Australia for the very first time, and everything else that's happening in the world of Lauri Porra and Stratovarius. G'day, Lauri. Welcome to andrewhaug.com.
Thank you very much, Andrew.
And like I mentioned, we are hit pretty heavily with lots of tours in Australia. It's actually refreshing to have a band that's never been here before because the excitement gets very, very high. So what are your thoughts and, I guess, feelings, as well as the rest of the band, about coming to Australia for the very first time?
Well, we've been trying to get to Australia many times before, so everybody's super excited to be able to. It's a whole new continent for us, and so we're really, really looking forward to it.
Have you heard any stories from previous bands that you're friends with about the country, or things to watch out for, apart from dangerous animals and spiders?
Well, I'd love to see the animals. Well, people say, well, it's a common known fact that people down under know how to party, so I'm looking forward to partying, and then hopefully to see some of them weird animals you have.
Let's talk a bit about the history of the group. Of course, you released the Nemesis album earlier this year. In fact, the band's 14th studio album. Now, you've been with the band for quite a few years now, and obviously with the new drummer Rolf in the ranks. How is I guess the vibe in the camp of Stratovarius, and again being such a veteran band of the scene of, I guess, European sort of power metal and heavy metal? What keeps you guys inspired to write this sort of music?
Well, basically we're inspired because we're so into what we're doing. It stays fun and exciting, and of course, well, now there's been some changes in the lineup, so that also keeps it fresh, even though it's always difficult to change a guy. But I think the vibe has been best during the last 1 year than it has ever been during my time, which is 8 years. So, just as long as you keep loving what you're doing, continue doing what you do.
Well, it seems, looking at your history, that you were pretty much born into playing music, because you've been you started playing music at an incredibly young age. Now, we can generally know that most kids would sort of switch off after a certain age when they discover other interests over time. What has kept you sticking with music? Because I've read that you started music or studying music at age 6, and it seems like you've pretty much stuck with music for the rest, up until now, most of your life. What has kept you motivated as well to play music, and of course write music? You compose music for TV shows and everything else. I mean, how do you keep your fire burning, Lauri Porra, for the making of music itself?
Oh, music is my life. That's what I do. It's and that's what I've done always since I was very small. I'm a fourth generation musician. I have a strong passion for it, and I've never been interested in doing anything else.
Was it enforced on you by your parents growing up? Because a lot of people say that it generally runs in the family, and family members pass down the traditions, so to speak.
Maybe a little bit, enforced. When I was 5 years old, my mother bought me a cello, and then I started going to cello lessons once a week. Maybe that was sort of, enforced. Now you do that, but it was good. I wouldn't force my kids. I think it's good, and it's also really good for children to do music. It's good for the brain and everything.
Actually, I've been seeing a whole bunch of stuff on YouTube of kids at a really young age playing some amazing, musical passages that have taken some players a hell of a long time to sort of learn. So it's encouraging to see this sort of next generation of players just step things up. I mean, as you mentioned, it's good to encourage all generations. Now, let's talk a bit about the writing of Stratovarius. Now, you're being a very accomplished musician. What is the writing situation like in the band? Are many other members in the group as accomplished as you as a musical nut?
In a way, everybody has a little bit different system, but everybody writes. I think Matthias, our guitar player, basically does most of it as of now. And what we do is usually, like after Australia, we still have a little bit of Finnish shows. And then we're going to take a break for like, 3 or 3 months when everybody's writing songs. And after that, we get together and listen to what kind of songs we have been writing, and then start looking at what kind of album we might come up with for the next one.
Now let's talk a bit about those tour dates coming up, because of course you're only doing 2 exclusive shows in Australia on Wednesday the 23rd of October in Melbourne at Billboard, the venue, and Friday the 25th at the Hi-Fi Bar in Sydney. Now you mentioned taking a break. Do you try and separate a lot of your non-sort of metal musical knowledge away from the band when it comes to submitting your written ideas for Stratovarius music?
Well, sort of. You try to write music that fits to whatever you're writing. So definitely, I write different kind of music for Stratovarius than my solo stuff or into a movie. But I think when you do a lot of different styles of music, you can get influences from everywhere. So I don't shut out influences, but I try to make sure that the song, in my opinion, would fit on the other songs, because I think Stratovarius will probably not make an ambient album for the next one. So I might want to keep some of the power metal influences in there.
Well, we can get you to say a couple last words to the Australian fans, Lauri. Of course, we are looking forward to having you in Australia for the very first time shortly with you and the rest of the band. And we can get you to choose, I guess, your favourite Stratovarius track of all time. We do have an extensive library at the station, so we should have the entire back catalogue of Stratovarius music.
I like Destiny. Play Destiny.
We can do that. And a couple of last words to the Australian fans, which you'll no doubt be meeting at these shows coming up.
Oh, I'm really, really looking forward to meeting you and seeing your beautiful country. And, it's the first time, and I definitely hope it's not going to be the last time.
Well, again, safe travels.
And you should come to the show, because otherwise we can't come back.
All right, well, let's check out the track Destiny now. Thanks again for your time, Lauri.
All right.
This is some Stratovarius on andrewhaug.com.
All right.